Well, it is exactly 1 minute to 9 p.m. on this 19th day of December 2023. Many thanks for making time to be with us. This is the bottom line. Now, on a day when concerns have been raised regarding the diplomatic blunders being made by the Kenya Kwanza administration, most recently being Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen, who referred to Rwanda as an autocracy and whatever President Paul Kagame says being the law. Now, many leaders have, weighed in on those particular sentiments, including former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who has apologized to Rwanda, by the way, and referring to Kipchumba Murkomen's sentiments as intemperate and undiplomatic. Now, that, among many other stories we've prepared for you tonight. First of all, let's have a look at what's making headlines.
Tonight on the bottom line, the Elnino death toll now stands at 174 as the rains continue pounding different parts, displacing thousands.
The president was threatening violence against that group, and the kind of violence that exterminates. He was threatening to kill people.
Busia Senator Okia Omtata has claimed that his life is now in danger. And a government in need of a diplomacy crash course? Tonight, we weigh in on the diplomacy missteps Kenyan officials have taken, subjecting the country to shame and straining relations.
Now, welcome to the program. I am Ian Keitani, and our sign language interpreter is Felista Adindo. Remember, you can watch this particular bulletin live on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Lookuptv. Let's get going, and as the adverse effects of the ongoing El Nino rains continue to be felt across different parts of the country, government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has today confirmed that the death toll now stands at 174. Now, thousands of Kenyans were forced to vacate their homes following the floods. Warimo Kimani with the report.
After Kenyans grappled with the famine crisis, now thousands mourn the losses caused by the floods from the ongoing Elnino rains, as confirmed earlier today by government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura during an event to oversee the receiving of relief supplies from your side.
Despite the stabilizing flood situation, we regret to announce that 6 more deaths reported in the first 3 days, raising the flood-related toll to 174 deaths. 2 deaths, is a mother and child, were as a result of landslide in Gurunga village in Kiambu County, while the other 4 Kenyans died in a gold mine in Kurutiange village, Bukira, North Migori County.
Speaking during a media briefing at the Red Cross warehouse headquarters in Nairobi, the government spokesperson highlighted that the most affected regions in the country include Tana River and Lamu counties, urging Kenyans to exercise increased caution during this period to avert.
It's a mine issue. We strongly caution Kenyans against working in mines during rainy seasons and to strictly adhere to alerts and guidelines to avert more fatalities and injuries. Yesterday, heavy rains pounded Kitui County, damaging several roads and killing 56 goats. Additionally, 76 households comprising of approximately 380,000 Kenyans were displaced. Emergency response and relief supplies continue across the country, and we must thank Kenya Red Cross for importing 2 boats, actually, to help in the evacuation. And today, the National Youth Service and KDF trucks are en route to Wajir and Mandera counties to replenish supplies of food, non-food items, and medicine. And actually, 2 planes will be leaving tomorrow morning to Mandera to take medicine. In Tana River and Lamu counties, the NPS helicopters, that's the National Police Service helicopters, will resume airlifts of relief supplies this afternoon. And the World Food Program plane, which is in Garissa, will also move to Wajir County today to facilitate last mile distribution.
Through the collaboration between Kenya and the Red Cross, Kenya has received a donation of 150 million shillings from your side, led by American Ambassador Meg Whitman, who presided over the event earlier today.
Partner to the Kenyan people, the Kenyan government, and the Kenyan Red Cross Society. Together, we are working with county governments and other donors, the UN and NGOs, to meet the humanitarian needs of the Kenyan people most affected by these floods. Efficient and effective local partners like the Kenyan Red Cross are fundamental for any successful disaster response, which is why I'm pleased to announce over 150 million Kenyan shillings in new funding from the United States to support Kenya's flood response efforts.
As the ongoing Elnino rains are expected to prolong till January next year, Kenyans have been emphasized to be a little bit more careful, with the government spokesman confirming that the government is very ready to deal with the natural disaster. Weremu Kimani, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Thank you very much, Weremu Kimani, for that particular report. Now, moving forward, officers in Kisii on Tuesday allegedly turned away Busia Senator Okiya Omtata from filing a report against President William Ruto's sword remarks. Omtata was allegedly sent away from Nyanchwa Police after he was referred there by officers from Mosocho Station in Kitutu Chache South.
Kwa sababu si mnajua nilipatiwa panga pale, nilipatiwa sword kubwa hivi. Wani mnafikiri hiyo sword ni ya kukata mboga? Si ni ya kufyeka wakora hawa? Ndawafyeka kabisa. Kenya itasonga mbele.
Those were sentiments by President William Ruto during a Thanksgiving at Mosocho over the weekend that has for another time not gone well with Busia Senator Okiya Omtata.
He issued a death threat against me and other people who have gone to court and successfully challenged his basically nonsensical housing, so-called housing fund, housing levy fund, or housing levy tax, whatever it is.
According to the first-time senator, the statement by President Ruto amount to a threat to his life, and many others who've gone to court to counter various policies by the Ruto-led administration.
The first issue was that the president was threatening violence against that group, and the kind of violence that exterminates. He was threatening to kill people. And if you look at everything where people are murdered and killed, the first step is to dehumanize them. Call them cockroaches, call them whatever. In this particular case, the president referred to me and my group as crooks.
The controversial Busia senator took a swipe at President Ruto, insisting that he will continue to counter the head of state if he continues to operate outside the law.
For me, there's no ground upon which Ruto can stand and call me a crook. People who know the history of this country know that both of us have been taken to court. And him was accused of theft, stealing public assets. I was accused of holding demonstrations to demand good governance. So who should call the other one a crook? One has been formally indicted for theft, or me was indicted for fighting for good governance. The president, he talks of his being not unstoppable. My advice to him is that he's only unstoppable if he's operating within the law. The moment he steps outside the law, he's stopped by the Constitution.
Omtata has gone to court several times to counter various proposals by the government, including the housing levy and the rolling out of Maisha Number. Earlier in the year, during a Thanksgiving service in Busia County, President Ruto and the Busia senator clashed regarding the latter going to court opposing the 2023 finance bill.
Wewe sasa unataka kunipeleka kotini. Na ile kazi mimi nafanya ni kupangia watu hawa ajira. Kwani sasa utaki hawa watu wapateko kazi, please. Okiya, tafadhali. Ama namna gani jameni watu wa Busia? Nisaidieni jameni, mumuongeleshe huyu jamaa apunguze mambo ya kotini.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Well, that story was produced by one Brian Amwai. Now, a section of Jubilee leaders from a faction led by Jeremiah Kioni are now demanding that President William Ruto reduce the cost of living that is soaring high beyond the reach of a majority of Kenyans. Former MPs Peter Mwadhi, Jude Njomo and George Mara have vowed to oppose the livestock levy and the controversial housing tax, blaming the president for hurting the economy through increased taxes. Henry Tende with more.
A meeting of Jubilee leaders under the faction led by Jeremiah Kioni brought together leaders drawn from Kiambu County. Today's meeting centered majorly on the cost of living. Former Limuru lawmaker Peter Mwathi castigating President William RUTO for increased taxation, in the process burdening an already stretched population. Mwathi says as leaders from Mount Kenya, they will not shy away from criticizing the government and says they are opposed to the housing levy.
Mambo yamekuwa mangumu. Hali ya uchumi imedhorota. Hali ya maisha iko mbaya. Sasa tunataka kusema hata sisi tuangaliwe.
Wale hasula wote ambao wako hapa wamekataa katakata kulipa 1.5% housing levy, kwa sababu hiyo inakuja kuwanyanyasa.
With the government having proposed tax on domesticated animals, these leaders have equally vowed to oppose the tax, saying it will have negative effects on farming, especially large-scale farmers.
Kama hatutaangaliwa, tunasema hata sisi hiyo kodi, huo ushuru hata sisi hatutalipa, na tutahakikisha kwamba yule ambaye anakaa katika eneo la Mount Kenya amesikia hii na ametufuata.
Hiyo kodi wanataka kuleta ya kulipia paka na panya na ng'ombe kodi ati ndio waweze kusivuga. Tunajua hawa wana target watu wetu.
This faction of the Jubilee Party says it is firmly a member of the Azimio coalition and has revealed it will start conducting grassroots recruitment of new party members.
These stories you are hearing, they are sponsored stories to say that Azimio is divided. I don't know who is here, who is no. Azimio is together. And we are going to fight this battle together. And about restructuring of Jubilee, the most important thing right now for Jubilee is to start from the grassroots. Building up. We cannot just be a party that talks from up there, but mashinani hatuna watu.
The team has thrown salvo at Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over remarks it says are dividing the country.
The number two in government is the one who is telling us that we are shareholders in that government, knowing that he's lying. If he is a shareholder himself, Rigathi Gachagua is a shareholder in government, and whoever else feels he's a shareholder because they have government appointments, that does not represent the rest of us. That is Rigathi Gachagua and his office. It does not represent Mount Kenya.
Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Now, in Kenya, the past year under the Kenya Kwanza government has been marked by a series of diplomatic missteps, raising concerns about the country's international image. From controversial remarks to conflicting statements, the government's handling of foreign relations is drawing attention. Tonight, we delve into the recent incidents that have left Kenya's diplomatic standing in question and explore the challenges faced in establishing a cohesive approach to international relations. Brian Moy now reports.
In just 1 year, the Kenya Kwanza government seems to be competing with itself to see who can make the biggest diplomatic blunder. The latest blunders portrays Kenya as the unruly kid next door, causing trouble with no regards for neighbors. From conflicting statements to damaging remarks, the government's reputation is taking a hit. Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen's recent statements comparing Kenya to Rwanda sparked a debate. CS Kipchumba Murkomen, in an interview on Monday on Citizen TV, said, "Rwanda is not like Kenya. We must live with certain expectations as a country that comes with democracy. Rwanda is an autocracy, and there whatever the president says is the law." PS Foreign Affairs Korir Sing'oei came out to clarify, saying each country within the East Africa community has a unique democratic praxis suited to its context. We celebrate this diversity of expressions and institutional arrangements. Rwanda is a key brotherly nation, and the head of state of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, is an iconic leader whose bold leadership is admired at home and abroad. End of quote. The National Resistance Movement's Vice Chairperson, Captain Mike Mukula of Uganda, urged President William RUTO to either apologize or take action against Murkomen for his controversial remarks about Rwanda's governance. The statement reads, and I quote, "I wish to express my deep concern and disappointment regarding the recent media attack on Rwanda by the Kenyan Minister of Transport and Roads. The comments made by the minister were not only uncalled for, but also undiplomatic, and they go against the spirit of the East Africa community. read the statement in part. This incident is just one in a series of diplomatic blunders for Kenya. Recently, confusion arose when the nation distanced itself from a press conference announcing an alliance supporting the rebel groups in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The government spokesperson conflicting statements left everyone wondering who was authorized to speak on diplomatic issues. Adding to the list of blunders, Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Korir Sing'oei mistakenly identified an Albanian leader on social media. Sing'oei also clashed with Senate Speaker Emerson Kingi over diplomatic matters on Somaliland, leading to Kingi deleting his post. Even President William Ruto faced criticism for declaring on social media that Kenya no longer recognized the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, only to later delete the post. Despite being a 60-year-old nation, Kenya seems unable to find its footing in diplomacy. As the country grapples with these diplomatic challenges, the looming question is whether Kenya can unravel the web of conflicting statements and establish a cohesive approach to international relations. Brian Amuai, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Well, in regards to that, this is what Raila Odinga has had to say regarding the sentiments by Kipchumba Murkomen, and he says, and I quote, "Yesterday we opened another war with Rwanda through a cabinet secretary using intemperate and undiplomatic language against this friendly neighboring member of the East African community. Statecraft and diplomacy etiquette is a different and more sophisticated statecraft and diplomacy require a different and more sophisticated etiquette beyond expensive watches, suits, and walking sticks." He added that the coarse language used by the great country and the friendly friendly people of Rwanda is most unfortunate. Rwanda is the size of Switzerland and is actually bigger than Singapore. It is not the size of that Mex nation, but the vision and leadership. To our Rwandese brothers and sisters, we apologize on the scenes of a regime intoxicated by power and corruption. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, they are taking a swipe at Kipchumba Murkomen, CS for Transport, in regards to his remark, and of course apologizing on behalf of the nation, he says, to the people of Rwanda. Now, staying with the transport CS, and Kipchumba Murkomen now says that the operations at the port of Mombasa are now efficient, noting that the loading and offloading of cargo takes a short period compared to before. Now, the CS also slammed those who keep dragging government services to court, saying they are derailing the government and development.
At the moment, our neighbors have a waiting time of up to, they have 38 ships waiting to dock, some of which arrived on 19th of November, which is a month ago. At our port here, we have only 2 ships waiting. One which arrived yesterday and one which arrived today this morning. We expect to reach 1.6 million TEUs by the end of the year. And this is also big. The key performance index also, we know that we have improved, like the MD has said, the ship turnaround time from 3 days to 2 days. Other infrastructure projects are behind us because of decisions that sometimes, naona mtu, yani unafanya hata barabara kidogo tu, unataka mtu ameweka kotini, inakaa miaka 5. Mwingine amekimbia pale, anakimbia bunge, instead of bunge facilitating, wanaweka orders kusema usisonge namna hii. I am pleased to announce that the government has approved a bonus payment of 1 month basic salary to each employee as a gesture of appreciation and to motivate staff to strive for higher levels of performance in the future.
Well, that particular story from Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Transport, takes us to our first break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Msimu huu wa Krismasi, mambo ni mega. Sherehekea Krismasi na Lotto Wins. Mwezi huu kuna magari ya kushindaniwa, guaranteed millions, 100k holiday shopping vouchers na mbuzi za Krismasi. Up to 40 million to be won in the hourly draws and a grand prize of 200 million every Wednesday and Saturday. Ndani ya 200 million mega jackpot. Cheza Lotto sasa. Ingia kwa M-Pesa Paybill 777000. Account Look. Amount shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000. Usiseme Merry Christmas. Sema Lotto Mega Christmas.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Changamka, cheza Lotto.
Thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with the bulletin, and in Bondo Sub-County's Gombe village, a family is urgently seeking for help after the South Sudanese Authority issued a 3-day ultimatum to raise Kenya shillings 250,000. The funds are needed to secure the body of 41-year-old Vincent Okoth, who tragically passed away in South Sudan.
Manake nimeambiwa baada ya siku 3 atachomwa huko ama atazikwa huko. Sasa naomba serikali kuanzia MCA Eunice Ndolo, Honorable Gideon Ochanda na gavana wetu, naomba usaidizi kutoka kwenu. Mtoto wangu isizikwe nje. Naomba serikali mniregesee mwili wangu, mtoto wangu nimzike karibu na mimi. Naomba serikali kwa hisani yenu. Sina namna.
Naitwa alikuwa mgonjwa huko. Tuliambiwa siku 2 kama siku 2-3 hivi, alafu baadaye ni kifo tu ndio tukasikia. Tulikuwa tukifanya bajeti yetu, tunaona kwamba tukimtoa huko afike huku tunahitaji pesa kama 250,000, na hiyo pesa hatuwezi kupata kwa siku 3. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio inatufanya tuombe usaidizi. Tafadhalini wahisani wote ambao wanaweza kutusaidia, mtusaidie.
We were told by the friends whom they were working with there. They walipiga simu on Sunday, wakatuambiwa we were given 3 days. So tumefanya juu chini, hatujapata msaada wowote. So our main request is to request the government to come and help us. Hatuwezi, we have been told that we are only given 3 days so that the body, tomorrow is the last day, So we are told ikipita kesho watachoma ama tutamuona. Kwa hivyo tunaomba the amount that they are requiring is 250,000.
Now, Nyandarua Governor Keria Badilisha has called upon governors across Mount Kenya to work together and ensure all stalled projects are completed. Badilisha further reiterated the region's support for the Kenya Kwanza administration in the run-up to the 2022 general elections, however, insisting that the priority at the moment is ensuring Mount Kenya residents benefit from the RUTO-led administration.
Mambo hiyo ya miradi kukwama hapa Mount Kenya na kufanyika kwingine inaweza kuwa na ukweli wake, na ndio tumesema sisi kama viongozi ni lazima sasa tutakuwa macho kuona ya kwamba ile inafaa kufanywa na serikali ambao sisi tulitoa kwa nguvu zaidi kuliko hata sehemu zingine, kweli hayo yamefikia watu wetu. Na njia moja ni kuzungumza na serikali na kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo miradi imeamushwa, imeendeleshwa na inaendelea. Lakini sisi pia tutakuja kutafuta support ama ushirikiano wetu na serikali kuu kuinua hii selebi yetu tunaongea. Kwa sababu kuna mambo inafaa hata tukileta investor, serikali kuu pia inataka ingie ndani na ikubaliane na sisi kwamba tuendelee na njia hiyo. Viongozi wa Mount Kenya kwa wakati huu hatuna haja ya kujipanga. Tumejipanga na tulijipanga kitambo. Hata wakati ule tulienda katika uchaguzi tulikuwa tumejipanga. Tulikuwa tumesema rais anajulikana, rais wetu RUTO, mdogo wake anajulikana ni Gachagua, na tuko hapo. Kwa hivyo hakuna kujipanga ingine, sisi tumejipanga kwa sasa, ni kazi tunafanya. Na ndio tunaomba rais na mdogo wake wakuje Central watufanyie kazi. Sisi wenyewe kama magavana tunafanya kazi. Kama kutakuwa na kujipanga kwingine, wakati yake itafika. Na ikifika wakati huo, kama itakuwa kupangua na kupanga tutajua, lakini kwa wakati ule sisi tulijipanga 2022 na tuko katika huo mpango mpaka sasa. Na ndio tunasema ni lazima yale tujipanga naye itekelezwe hapa, na tuone ya kwamba wananchi wetu wanafurahia hata ile support tulitoa katika sehemu hii.
Well, talking of governance, is that the report recently released by the Control of Budget does indicate that at least 13 counties and 13 governors did not use funds in the last 3 months that ended in September on development projects, and instead used that particular money on paying salaries, allowances and operational expenses of their offices. Of the 13 governors include Nairobi's Johnson Sakaja, Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti, Kilifi's Gideon Mungaro, Embu's Cecily Mbarire, Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, Jonathan Lelelit of Samburu, Simon Kachapin of West Pokot, Jeremiah Lomurukai of Turkana, and Eric Mutai of Kericho County. However, Nakuru Governor, that is Susan Kihika, and Mutula Kilonzo of Makueni, together with Kenneth Lusaka of Bungoma County, did commit less than 1% of their budgets to development. That means citizens of at least 13 counties were subjected to starvation of development projects through the 3 months as their county governors or bosses prioritized funds they got on paying salaries and, of course, allowances and other operational expenses. Like I said, that is a report by the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango. Now, moving forward, residents living along Kimbi Kanjinji Road in Mwea East Sub-County in Kirinyaga County are up in arms over pathetic state of the road, which currently has paralyzed economic activities in the villages. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
It is a situation that left the residents living aside the road complaining that they are not listened by the county and national government. Nancy Wanjiku, leading the residents in planting bananas on the road, say that they closed the busy Maram Road because the Karoti Bridge that has served them for many years is on the edge of collapsing.
Wakazawana wetu wanazangu wa barabara. Hata juzi nilimpatia mwanamke mwingine nini kama ya kufunga kitofu. Hiyo ni kazi gani? Huyu mwanamke juzi huyo MP aliniambia kazi yetu ni kupika wabebe. Sisi hatuna wazimu.
The chairman of Kimbimbi Boda Boda Irungu Mwangi say that they have no capacity to transport their products and passengers. He also added that they won't open the road until the leaders of the area and the national government intervene and take action because the road is no longer passable.
Zinatoka pande ya Mulindoko kama zimebeba maram zikipeleka pande ya Nyakati. Sasa sisi tunauliza, sisi hatuna watetezi, tulichagua watu, hatuwaoni. Wenye tunafikia maofisi zao wanasema tutafanywa postmortem. Walisema itafanywa postmortem. Sasa tunashindwa, hii barabara imekuwa mtu ndio ifanywe first aid. Sasa tunashindwa first aid nayo ikifanywa itatengenezwa lini? Tunaambiwa inawekwa rami. Imemaliza miaka. Kila wakati wa uchaguzi tunaambiwa kuna rami inakuja.
Irungu also said that they have refused large vehicles to cross the Karoti Bridge and want urgent action by the national government because those bridges may collapse anytime in case heavy rains occur.
Hii barabara tutafungua wakati tutasikizwa. Wakitusikiza ndio tutafungua. Na kusikiza ile kitu watafanya ni watengeneze barabara tujue wametusikiza.
Ibikadinyi, Lookuptv.
Crossing over to Baringo County, and leaders in Marigat sub-county have appealed to the Council of Elders in the region to reduce dowry price, pointing out that it is the exact answer to questions as to why the majority of youths in the area are not willing to marry, noting that dowry negotiation aligns itself to the level of education of the bride, an act they want sidelined and eliminated.
Speaking during a knot-tying ceremony between Eunice and Benedict Kamboi held at Marigat Catholic Church in Baringo South constituency, Baringo North Member of Parliament Joseph Maklap and his Baringo South counterpart Charles Cameron, the two leaders know that the bride price has become a headache, compelling a larger population of the youths in the area and negate marriage as a dowry negotiation conducted by the elders in the region twines itself to the level of education of the bride.
This high cost of dowry has actually caused a lot of pressure, even in this banditry issue. This cattle licensing issue is because of high cost of dowry. People are raiding us to get cattle to go and pay dowry. So let's make it cheap so that we also reduce the number of cattle rustlers that come and chase our cows around this place. So when we make it cheaper and easier, then everyone is able to marry. Because after all, love is blind. So we should not make that blindness too expensive for our country. That is what we need to do so that every hustler should be able to, marry.
According to the two leaders, this is the reason behind banditry and animal theft in the region, as some of the youths engage themselves in as a recreation and an amateur in an attempt to find livestock to sell and exchange others as a bride price.
It's too expensive for the young generation, the hustlers. It's not easy. It's not like before. So we do agree with Council of Elders of Kalenjin and the other Council of Elders all across that they should come up with a standard one, at least according to each and every culture, what was there before. Because we know what was there before. It was around some little amount and maybe with some few cows, not more than 4. And you keep out what you have at the moment. You can keep 1 or 2. The rest you will keep later on. Therefore, Council of Elders are the best people to make decision on these issues to do with the culture in terms of dowry. So we are waiting upon them. We hope they will keep the best. And what we are urging the government is that the payments, the increase of the money to pay on weddings, on anything to do with wedding, they should reduce. Let them have what it was there before.
Regan Lemeguran, Lookuptv.
That is one story that probably has left smiles on the faces of millions of youths across the country. Now, state actors and non-state actors in the promotion of justice and human rights defenders have cited citizens as the biggest hindrance in securing watertight cases through the courts due to late reporting and interference to scenes of crime. Now, speaking during a sensitization forum in Runyenje's town, Embu County, the actors noted that timely reporting and willingness to give evidence will help police win cases in court.
Days of the festive season and a day after the OKM Peace Tournament in Kerio Valley that brought the warring communities from Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot and Turkana counties together. West Pokot leaders have decried rampant killing at the border of the counties.
Ningependa kuambia kuwa Mheshimiwa Kindiki, enda saa hizi mpaka ground na uende uangalie ni watu gani wameanzisha mambo ya cattle rustling, kwa sababu sisi tunapandikiwangwa, tunaambiwa sisi ni wesi wa ng'ombe, sisi tunaua watu, lakini saa hii ni watu gani wameanza?
Ambayo ilikuwa ni kwamba
the warriors themselves were not here. The reformed warriors were not here. The leaders of krals in Takwel side na upande ya Turkana na huku, viongozi wa krals, wale wazee wa ng'ombe hawakukuwa jana makutano.
In other news, Kakamega County members of parliament have assured the residents that they will revisit the Milimani Estate demolition site, promising to handle the situation on time.
Ileta kwa bunge, tujadiliane wote kama MCA wa bunge la Kakamega. Tukimaliza hapo tutakuja na recommendation ambayo tutaleta kuja tena wananchi wetu wa Kakamega.
Tumeona ya kwamba hao watu walifanywa unyama na haikutakikana hivyo, hata kama walikuwa wanakaa pengine kwa shamba ya serikali ama nyumba ya serikali. Mbinu ambayo wale ambao walipomoa hizi manyumba na kuharibu mali za watu katika Kakamega County Milimani Estate ilikuwa ni kinyume ya sheria.
Speaking in Runyenje, Embu County, officers from the National Justice Mission IJM urged citizens to shun from interfering with justice delivery, noting that some of them have blocked access to some crucial evidence for cases through tampering with scenes of crime, while appealing for bold relationship between the Nyumba Kumi initiatives and the Kenya police officers to ensure good communication between different justice stakeholders.
Na kuona ni vipi tunaweza kuhakikisha kwamba those cases zinafanywa reporting vizuri kutoka kwa jamii, zinachunguzwa vizuri pale kwa police station, ushahidi inasanywa sawa sawa, reported in a timely fashion, na vile pia zinaweza kufika kotini na kuwa prosecuted kwa njia ambayo inafaa.
Nianza kwa kusema ya kwamba hawa wanakijiji ambao wanafundishwa hapa wataweza kuenda wahamasisha wananchi wenzao, ili ya kwamba kama mtu ako na kesi katika koti ama kuna jambo liko katika police station, wataweza kujua mahali wanaweza kuanzisha ili wakaweze kufuatilia kesi zao.
Let's talk matters sports now, and Kenya Beach women's volleyball team is optimistic of clinching gold in this year's beach volleyball tournament at Pride in Paradise Hotel in Mombasa on Wednesday. Now, according to coach Salome Wanjala, her squad is confident of winning gold as well as qualifying for the 2024 Olympics in Paris, France. Salome will miss the services of veterans Abraxid Agala, who is injured, and Naomi To, who is away on personal reasons. Now on to the Kenyan Premier League, and Murang'a Seal will host AFC Leopards at the SportPesa Arena in a do-or-die affair in the FKF Premier League. Murang'a are placed 8th on the log standings. Other matches to be played tomorrow are as follows. AFC Leopards. But let's move forward on to the international scene, and the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup will be played tonight with 3 matches scheduled. Now, Chelsea welcome Newcastle United at Stamford Bridge. Middlesbrough take on Port Vale, while Fulham will play Everton. Well, I know my director will not be so happy with this, but like you've seen those fixtures, there is a competition being contested for by mid-table teams. Now, on that particular note, we wrap up this particular bulletin. Many thanks to everybody who made this success, led by my producer, Brana Moai, director, James Momanyi, James Kinyo on the sounds, and of course, Alvin Thua, without forgetting Simon Kahambwe and Nasha on our digital desk. David Kasembeli here in studio, as well as Kivuva. Our sign language interpreter has been Felicita Adundo, and I am Ian Kitani. Until tomorrow, do have yourself a wonderful night, and like always, God bless.